Hello, I would like to practice counting and clapping a rhythm with you. And so this is like a primer, a very basic rhythm in 2/4 meter. 2/4 means that there are two quarter notes in each measure or their equivalents. So two quarter notes. If we have eighths notes, of course we have two eighths notes for each quarter, so there are four eighths notes. Please note that what belongs to the same beat is beamed together. So instead of note flags, we use beams. So these two belong to the first beat, these two to the second beat, and so on. So here we have three measures where the first beat is a quarter, then two eighths, and then here we switch two eighths and then a quarter. Here we have a dotted rhythm, which is very common in music. So we have so the beginning of beat 2 is missing because it's tagged on to the quarter note. The dot essentially means that half of its own value is prolongs this note. So that means it's a quarter plus half of a quarter, which is an eighth. So this is held as long as a quarter and an eighth together. That means 1/8 is missing to fill up this measure. And then we slow down the rhythm and we end up with half notes. Half notes are twice as long as quarter notes, so we only have one per measure. Now, we will now count this rhythm once, and let me play the metronome. And these will be our quarter notes. I will play ahead. When I switch it on, I will play two full measures of quarter notes, meaning 4 clicks before we start counting. Okay, and you can then later rewind the video and do this as often as you want. So here it goes. Listen to 4 clicks first, and then we start counting. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. So again, you can always go back, rewind. I suggest you do this several times, this counting. And then you repeat the same thing. You do the same video with several times, at least 3 times, counting through this rhythm for once for a week, once every day for a week, so 7 days. So you get really used to keeping the pulse and also the different divisions of the beat. And so now, before we finish, I want to clap this rhythm once, and I want to invite you to clap along. Now, since I will use my hands, I cannot move the mouse, so you really have to look at the screen and follow the music with your eyes without me being able to show where we are. But we will clap this through one time, and again, once I switch on the metronome, we'll first hear 4 clicks. That means 2 full measures before we start, and then we start clapping. And so we clap whenever there is a note in the rhythm. So we don't count, we just clap. Here it goes. Listen to 4 clicks first before we start. So again, I suggest rewinding and doing this 3 times. So clap through this 3 times for once a day, 7 days a week, and so you get used to practicing the rhythm. And on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist with other rhythms, and some are more complicated. So if you feel like this was too easy, then pick some more advanced. One more thing I want to mention. When we are in 2/4 meter, although there are 2 beats, the first one is emphasized a little more than the second. So if we clap, we emphasize the first one a little more than the second. And so on. And in different meters, that is then accordingly. Usually the first beat is emphasized just a little bit more. So if we perform this on our instrument, we would also just give it emphasizes just a little bit more, and that gives the listener the ability to feel the meter better. Otherwise we get lost in the meter. So happy practicing, and check out the other rhythms. Bye.